What have you heard about Jeff McNeil and in terms of his availability when the NLCS starts?
Yeah, he came out good after that game last night, played second base. A few guys probably saw it. The whole game, 5 at-bats, say he felt physically really good. He's scheduled to play right field today, and then we'll see where we at. But, again, trending in the right direction, feeling good physically. 5 at-bats, 9 innings on the field. Like I say, wait till he gets through today's game, and then we'll go from there.
If he's okay, do you view him having a starting role or coming off the bench?
We'll see. We'll see. But if he's healthy, there's a good chance he'll be on the roster for sure, and then we'll go from there.
Mike?
How do you feel about playing the Dodgers?
They're really good. Not a secret. That's a really good team. A lot of superstars. They're deep, and they face a lot of adversity, just like us. You know, a lot of injuries in their pitching staff, especially, and they found a way. So we're a good team, and we'll be ready to go. But understanding that we're facing a pretty good team there.
You haven't seen them since May. I mean, do you look at it as you're like a completely different team than when the last time you saw them?
I mean, they got a lot of the familiar faces, lineup-wise, pretty much the same guys. And then bullpen, a lot of the same guys that we face. So, yeah, it'll be interesting because it seems like they've been using that bullpen a lot with the injuries that they're facing with their starting rotation. So, but again, they're deep, they're good, they got good players, they got a really good manager and good coaches. So it'll be fun.
Tim?
With Senga, during his various buildups and even when he's come back, you've been very set on the pitching him on the 6th day at the soonest. Would he be able to go on normal major league rest this now?
Hopefully that's the case.
Yeah. You're looking at him because it's a question of Game 5, right?
Right.
Which I'm sure you guys
Correct.
looked at.
Correct. Yes, and we discussed pretty much every scenario. You know, like if we go, who goes Game 1, who games Game 2, Game 3, potential games 5, 6, and 7 if we need to go that route. So yeah, and he's got to get through. You know, his starts on Sunday, and then we'll continue to monitor him the following days. But he should be good to go.
What does he think about going on normal rest?
He's good to go. He wants what's best for the team, and he's gonna let us know. So, but as of right now, he feels good. And we're going to go with them.
More generally, with the pitching going to this round, how much of a luxury does it feel like to be able to line it up whichever way you want, which obviously not every team gets to do?
Yeah, I mean, we're still facing a really good team. I mean, we got to go out there and execute. But I think overall, especially what we went through the past 2 weeks or so, with so much traveling and playing that many games on the road, not only for the starting rotation, but for our bullpen, it was good to have these couple of days off. But it was nice to have these conversations and have some choices and options. But, I don't put too much into it because we still got to go out there and play well.
Dave?
Carlos, Lindor already had an MVP regular season. I'm counting that Atlanta game almost as like a playoff game now. But have you seen kind of if not a different gear with him, but just a kind of a different mission, just with the stakes being higher now with these games?
I think I seen a different gear probably 3 months ago. But the one thing is he's calm, especially after those big swings. He's done it before, and he has. It's hard to control your emotions when in the moments like the way he's coming through. So I think I just see a more mature player that is controlling his emotion. He's calm, and he continues to perform. Like that extra gear. I think that's Francisco Lindor. And this is a guy that, pretty early in his career, he was playing a lot of playoff games and a lot of meaningful games and even a World Series. So he's been in these moments. He knows what it takes. And people will feed off that too. So important for her to have not only Lindor, but with some of the guys that got playoff experience. They can share some of the way they approach certain situations. So definitely Lindor, special player, man.
So, I mean, with him having done it already in October, like you mentioned, in Cleveland, Carlos, is that something, a player that, is real? Like that they've already done it, so they're more prone to do it again, or they know what to draw on to do it
He's a
again?
superstar. He's a superstar. He's one of the best players in the game, and there's a reason why. But the one thing with him, man, is like he works really hard. Like his routine, his preparation, like he's always doing something, whether physically, going through video work, going through scouting reports, in the training room, in the weight room, talking to our trainers. Like this guy is special. It's pretty amazing what he does, not only on the field but off the field. Again, this is a superstar here that we get the privilege to watch him play and perform day in and day out, and especially in moments like this in October. So,
Mark?
Last time you guys saw the Dodgers was probably your rock bottom. Does it feel kind of full circle now that you have to go through them?
I guess. But it's a long season, we played them earlier, and especially in May when it was hard for us. And look, here we are. Yeah, getting another opportunity to face a really good team, and it'll be fun. That's for sure. There's going to be a lot of superstars on that field. Two fan bases that are intense. So, I'm not going to put too much where, hey, we were struggling. We hit rock bottom in May, and we were facing them. That's baseball. It happens. A lot of times you're going to go through struggles. And when we were playing them, we played them well there in L.A., and then they came here and they beat us. But here we are. So.
Did that last game against them feel like a turning point for you?
Yeah, that was the game of the team meeting, I guess, right? So, yeah, you could say that. Turning point. Like we've been through a lot, But the fact that after that game, that's when the guys got together, and then we started turning the corner. So maybe.
Jerry?
Hey, Carlos, when you guys lost Kodai and Jeff in the regular season, you said something along the lines of, it'd be a good conversation to have if we get them back and we can talk about it. How's it feel to be in the position where you're talking about having Kodai start game one and maybe Jeff play for you guys in this round?
Yeah, it kind of hit me. I think it was yesterday when we were going through a lot of these conversations, and I went back to when I was saying, hopefully, when I announced that Senga was done for the regular season, and then when Jeff gets hit and we get the results, he's broken and he's done, and hopefully we're having this conversation. And here we were yesterday having those conversations. So it was a good feeling, pretty incredible. And I'm just glad that they are healthy now. Senga is already contributing the past series, and Jeff is now putting himself in a position where he could be a player for us in a pretty important series, in a pretty important part of our season. So,
Tony?
Two more from me. One, it sounds like Severino's going to have at least 10-ish days between starts. How do you manage that?
Fine. Because if he's somebody that needs that extra day or extra rest, is Sevy, especially to where he's at with innings and the workload and all that. So we feel really good about it. So and he's good with it. And look, we'll see what happens.
Separately, as you go through your game planning for the Dodgers, how do you sort of manage the fact that they have Shohei Ohtani in the middle who can hit basically anyone at any time?
Don't forget Mookie and Freeman right behind him. That's what makes them really good, That's three of the best hitters, and then you got a Teoscar Hernandez and Max Muncy, and then Will Smith, and I can go on and on. That's, like I said, that's a pretty good lineup there. It's deep, they're versatile, they're righty lefty, and they can do a lot of different things offensively. They can hit the ball out of the ballpark, they control the strike zone. Not a secret, so we'll be ready.
I guess what I'm asking is there any special treatment you give a player like that, or because they're so deep you almost can't?
Pick your poison kind of thing, because then you got a former MVP and Mookie Betts sitting right behind him, and then another former MVP and Freddie Freeman. It goes on and on. So the game will dictate how we're going to approach certain situations and certain guys. But again, we'll be ready to go. We'll have a plan, and we got to go out there and execute, and got to go out there and compete.
Laura?
As a first-year manager, is there a shift personally for you in philosophy in terms of decision making and essentially how you approach a 7-game series as opposed to a 5-game series?
Yeah, I mean, once you get to this situation here when you're playing playoff games, you're going to be aggressive at times. You guys seen the way I've used Edwin Diaz in the 7th, I think it was the other day. So, yeah, it's definitely a different style as far as, like, how aggressive are you gonna be with some of your move, whether it's pinch running, pinch hitting. This is a different bullpen here. You got, we haven't seen a bullpen with so many right-handed pitchers. I have to make some adjustments here. But the game will dictate. The game will tell us, but it's definitely a different way of going about as far as managing a game. But like our preparation, our communication, and all that stays the same.
And how does that weigh into the decision of whether to carry an extra pitcher or to have an extra position player?
Yeah, and those are some of the discussions that we're having because of, we're probably going to be facing a lot of their bullpen. And do we need that extra left-handed hitter? Do we need to have that versatility? Do we need to have that extra pitcher because of a 7-game set? So it's fun to have these conversations. Let's put it that way.
Tim?
Why did you guys work out here and then fly as opposed to the opposite?
Yeah, because one, we didn't know where we were going, and two, we want to use our facilities, and then just kind of get our work in, get on the plane, and not having to get off the plane after 6-hour flight and go to the ballpark, and then so we decided, because again we didn't know where we were going and all that, we decided to just stay here, do everything here, and then fly and just go straight to the hotel.
Jorge?
Carlos, you mentioned all the stars the Dodgers have. Kike Hernandez becomes sort of a different player in October. When you face a guy like that who seems to step up in October, do you treat him like differently than you would like in the regular season?
Not really. I mean, he's a really good player. He's been in this league for a long time. I know him well. I coached him in Winter Bowl back in the day in Puerto Rico, and then I saw him in playoff when he was with Boston. He seems like he's built for this moment. So, and that's what. I continue to say that's a deep roster, that's a deep lineup, because now you're looking at a guy like Kike Hernandez, probably hitting down in the bottom of the order, and you see what he's done last night, came through again, and he brings a lot of energy, and he's a really good player. So